Bridgit Danner from Women's Wellness Collaborative, and today I'm going to show you how to do a coffee enema, or at least how to set up for a coffee enema. We won't take it to the extreme, but I'm going to show you kind of all the preparation. However, I will say I would not advise you do a coffee enema without someone's guidance and recommendations. If you're very sick or you're treating a certain condition, make sure you talk to your doctor or your naturopath, whoever's working with you, before doing one. But if it's been recommended to you or you've been wanting to try it, it can be a little tricky to figure out how to get started. So we're gonna help with that. My recipe for coffee enema is mostly coming from this book by Dr. Jay Davidson. He's been on our podcast as well, talking about Lyme disease and his approach to healing complex illness. So his book is 5 Steps to Restoring Health. And yeah, this is more or less his recipe, but then I'm gonna kind of share what I've learned along the way from doing it myself. So first we need coffee. This coffee is light roast, and that's required, but you also want to look for organic and fair trade. You can also look for mold-free coffee. That's something to consider, but I think most important is organic and light roast. So we're gonna grind the coffee fresh. You don't want coffee that's been sitting around. And we want to use 4 tablespoons of coffee. I'm gonna brew it up in this blender thing, because first I just started using it randomly, but it is kind of nice because it shows like the amounts of water and that kind of a thing. So 4 tablespoons coffee. And then boiled water, and you want to use nice purified water. And we're going to do 2.5 cups of hot water. And then we're going to let this sit for 15 minutes. So while this is brewing, let's talk about what this coffee enema is all about. So there's other things you can do in coffee enemas, warm water, or licorice tea, or there's different teas. My experience is with coffee, and I'll tell you its benefits. So there are compounds in this coffee that when they interact with your bloodstream and your liver will make a lot of the master antioxidant glutathione, which is gonna clean out your blood a whole bunch, and it's great for, like me, I'm kind of cleaning up some toxic mold I had in my body. So glutathione is really key for me. The mold is depleting my glutathione like crazy. So when I do this coffee enema, my glutathione comes back like crazy because the coffee is retained by your liver, and the blood is pumping through your liver. As you retain the coffee enema, your entire bloodstream is getting cleaned a few times over, and the end result is you feel amazing. So I think a little bit of that is from the caffeine. I'm super caffeine sensitive. I don't drink coffee. The first time I did a coffee enema, I was like, whoa, this is pretty intense. But over time, I've gotten more used to it. I will say every time I do it, it's a little different. Like sometimes I'm a little bit wired, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes it's hard to do the coffee enema, I'm struggling, and other times it's easy. So I think it just depends on the day. But yeah, so the really why you do a coffee enema is to clean the liver and the blood more than to clean the large intestine. That's sort of a different purpose. So you always want to do it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And we usually do it with a binder, so something to kind of grab onto some of the toxins that will be released. So one that I like a lot, we'll see if I have it handy here, is this product called Healthy Clay. It's a clay, a blue clay that's collected here in Oregon. It's like a local small company, and I've been super happy with this product. Another thing that you can do is a pectin. This is kind of newer to me, but this is a pectin product, kind of made from citrus fruit, and that's a binder as well. So you want to have an empty stomach. You can be drinking water or drinking, sometimes I drink some vinegar with honey. So you can be drinking, but you want to have an empty stomach because you're kind of cleaning out your system here. So we're going to let this brew for 15 minutes and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we've got our coffee that's brewed for 15 minutes and then we're going to add about 2 cups of clean or distilled water, purified water. So it's about 4.5 cups total now. And then we need to strain it. And you don't want to use a paper filter, you want to use like a mesh wire because you want to retain all the compounds from the coffee. And you'll even get a little bit of kind of coffee dust that comes through, but it's okay. So now we have about 4 cups of our coffee and that's enough for 1 person. So if I do this together with my husband, we like double it up. And then it's just like a little warm, but not too hot. And then we can put it right into our enema bag. So let's go upstairs and I will show you how to set up your bathroom. So we've got our coffee. I just usually bring it up in a pitcher and I wanted to show you a couple options. So there are disposable enema kits. Here is one, and I think this is a good way to start out if you've never done one before because you're not sure if you're gonna get into it or not. One thing I like about this kit, I just got it off Amazon, is it has a small tube. So it's not as much liquid coming through at once. It also has a clear bag so you can see how much coffee is coming out and how much is still left. They all will have a little clamp so that you can stop the flow. So this is one type, and then once I decided, okay, I'm gonna keep doing these enemas, I didn't wanna be throwing away stuff all the time, so I got this reusable kit, and it's from this company, Aussie health company, and I like it, but it has some cons, I would say. So I think it's good quality. The company has instructions and all that stuff. It tells you how to clean it. But you can't see through this bag very well. You can see a little bit. You can see enough. But the tube, as you see, is a lot larger than the other tube, like double. So it's a little harder to control the flow. And the first couple times I used this, it was like squirting all over the place and like coming in way too fast. And I really had to learn how to use this particular kit. So it has a clamp as well. Let's see. And I've had a little trouble with the clamp. You know, if you got it somewhat clamped, it still comes through. So you really have to get it super tight. So sometimes I've made errors with not having it clamped enough and I've like lost half my coffee. So again, I think it's a good quality product, but it's taken me some time to get to know this. And also, you know, it has a nice long tube, which sounds good because you could hang it potentially from the shower curtain rod. But then you've got a lot of gravity really moving the coffee through quickly. And I don't think you really want the coffee coming through quickly. So that means you've got to clamp it really quickly. as I'll show you, I just hang it from a lower place so I don't have so much speed coming through. So we've got, usually I'll do this over the bathroom, but for now I'll do it over the sink. Just pour in all your coffee. So we've got our 4 cups of coffee, and we're gonna do 2 rounds of enema. You can see at the, maybe you can see at the bottom here, there's getting some of those coffee dust. So I think that's fine. You can maybe see the coffee's up to about here. So we want to use about a cup for each, or 2 cups for each round. So, you know, you're going to go about halfway. But I will often find that I can't get in as much the first time. Maybe I only even get a cup in and more the second time. And I think it's, you know, okay, you just do your best. So right now I have the clamp on and there's no coffee coming down. So I'm going to have to get the clamp loosened. You can see the coffee coming down, and then once it's coming out the tip, I clamp it again. So you don't want like a bunch of air in there. So that's what I do just to get started. And then we can go over to the bathtub and I'll show you how to set up there. You're going to be in the bathroom for a while when you're doing an enema, so you want to be comfortable. So you can get a towel or two, probably not white because you might spill coffee on it. And you're going to lay down in here. You could even have a little bath pillow or something. Sometimes I bring a book because if I'm comfortable enough, I can lay in and read or, do something. But sometimes I'm not comfortable enough to do all that. So I happen to have this low-hanging handle here, which I like because I can have a little more control and a little less gravity, but I have such a long tube that sometimes it's too slow. So I'm just kind of learning, but I do prefer it down low. So we've got our coffee kind of loaded up. You would undress, or at least undress like, your bottom half, and you can use some oil on here, like coconut oil, if you need to, and you put pretty much this whole tip up your anus. So that's the gross part, but you really kind of get used to it, and you don't really have to handle it that much, and we'll tell you how to clean it as well. So we talked about you want to try to get about 2 cups in your first round, but if you don't get that much, it's okay. You want to do it till you feel full. Your body will kind of stop accepting it. And I would suggest to go really slowly, especially the first time. So you're just going to unclamp it for a little while and then clamp it again. And maybe that unclamping, I'll just kind of show you the flow. It's kind of, because I'm holding it up, it's not going super fast, but it can go fast. So just, once you start to feel like, oh, I feel a little full, you want to stop. Sometimes I find that you take it in and maybe it comes in fine, but then it starts to kind of make you feel, it kind of, I wouldn't say turns your stomach, but it kind of excites your intestines, right? It's this thing that came in and it's caffeinated and it has oils, and it kind of excites your intestines, and they might start kind of cramping or wanting to expel it. So that's why you want to make the process slow, so you can slowly accept it. So the book I showed you earlier, you can lay, they recommend to lay on your right side. Other books I've read say lay on your back or go in all directions. So if I'm really comfortable, I'll even like get up or move around and let it go. But honestly, I feel like it works like no matter how I do it. Some resources say to like massage your belly. I personally don't recommend that. I think it gets things too excited. But you keep putting it in till you feel like you're full, and then ideally you retain it for 15 minutes. If you can't make it, it's like feeling too stirred up, then you'll get up. But you've got a toilet nearby, and after 15 minutes you go and sit on the toilet and everything will come out. And that might take a few minutes, 5 minutes to get everything out, or it might be quick. Sometimes your body won't let it go right away. It'll kind of want to hold on to it a little longer, and you might sit there for a bit and then it will let go of it. So you go to the bathroom and then you come back and do a second round. I always find the second round to be quite a bit easier. Your body's sort of used to it after the first time and it takes it better. That's usually when I can kind of relax more, and then again you do that for 15 minutes, sit on the bathroom or on the toilet again. And even as you do it, you'll start to feel more energized, you'll start to feel better. So it's pretty awesome that it's that quick. And then when the process is all over, we need to, if you're using our reusable kit, you need to clean it. So this kit came with instructions to clean with hydrogen peroxide, and you're supposed to, similar to the colonic, hold it in the tube for 15 minutes, 2 cups. It's actually the exact same ratio. But usually I will flush it first just to kind of get everything out. That's just old coffee. I'll just kind of flush it out first. Usually I'll kind of pour some on the tip first. You can replace these tips as well. You can buy replaceable tips. Then I will lock the clamp up. And then I'll put in the 2 cups, which is quite a bit. So the good part is you're using this reusable thing, but you need to buy a lot of hydrogen peroxide, but at least you can recycle this bottle. And then maybe I'll unclamp it one more time just to let the hydrogen peroxide come down. And then I'll clamp it again and let it sit. So this part's pretty easy because you're gonna be cleaning up anyways, or taking a shower, or doing what you wanna do. So just kind of let this sit for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes have passed, let it all out, unclamp it. So I'm gonna lift this up and it'll go a lot faster. Kind of messy looking in there with all the old coffee. So let's pretend we waited 15 minutes, then we're gonna drain it out. And then I usually rinse it one more time on the outside. And I'll kind of pour it on one more time. And then I'll let everything dry. So I usually let it hang and dry and get all the drips out. And then after, it's dried, or I'll take all the parts apart so that they have a chance to kind of dry and air out. So again, coffee enemas are great as a detox. They increase your glutathione, which often is depleted in chronic illness. However, there could be some risks if you have a congested bile duct or gallstones or something like that. Then you could have some problems with like this much motion happening. So definitely work with your physician before you decide to do a coffee enema, and just kind of go slow and listen to your body. The first time maybe experimental, but as you get better with it, I think they're really a great tool for increasing energy, increasing antioxidants in your body. So I hope this was helpful, and you're welcome to just subscribe here on Women's Wellness TV. We've got some other videos on detox as well.